Personally, for me, I really liked the Pokemon ZA stuff. Seeing the environments and everything, the gameplay, the Pokemon starters, literally everything was just very awesome.
Do you like the Pokemon starters?
Bro, like, if you want me to be real with you, not really.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah. Same here.
like,
I mean, they're not bad, but they're not like they're so random. They're really random.
the thing is like when looking at posts amongst the community, there's a lot of people who are saying that the Pokemon team picked the bottom of the barrel when it comes to popularity. So Chikorita is amongst the group that is hated the most.
Oh, whoops. Well,
I mean, personally for me, I'm choosing Chikorita as my starter.
Same here. I like Chikorita. I like Totodile too because as a kid I was into dinosaurs, so like I like dinosaurs. So it's between those, but like the other one, I can't remember his name. Tepig. Yeah, I'm not interested in that at all. Like I have no interest in that Pokemon at all. It's just
a lot of people aren't really either. Funny enough, is like I'm seeing some people who's like ever since the Typhlosion allegations, they had to like scrap it. But realistically, it's because of Typhlosion being a Hisuian evolution in the past from Legends Arceus. So, but yeah, Tepig wasn't a fan favorite. It's my evolution Emboar. Meganium, definitely not a fan favorite. Feraligatr, I thought was going to be a little bit higher on the list, but again, it's just not that great of a Pokemon by itself, both in the game and competitively. So again, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. So Pokemon Legends Z8, I love pretty much everything from it, aside from apparently the most controversial thing to talk about when it comes to any Pokemon game.
The starters.
No, the graphics.
Oh. Now, comparatively, like from ZA to and the main reason why I could say that's a fact is because when you look at the stone texture from like the city streets and all that stuff, you can see each and every individual brick that's layered down. For the water, you're able to see clearly through the water. Like that's a huge improvement from what it was before.
So I guess we're gonna have two different opinions on this because while I do agree with you, I don't think it's that big of an upgrade. You know what I noticed about the buildings? If you notice, the railings, they're just flat textures.
I mean, yeah.
That's the first thing, and the textures are still a little like muddy and stuff. Like they're not the best. And you have to, because they had extra time on this game. So I was expecting at least something along the lines of like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to not the actual look of the game, the textures. I mean, which I guess that is the look of the game. Like if you go back and look at that game, it looks a lot better than pretty much anything that they've put out recently in terms of textures. I mean, like the quality of them.
No, I can agree with you on that, but there's also counter arguments to that. One of them being that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee only focus on the original 151 of the Pokédex. While we don't know how many Pokemon are going to be in ZA, in Legends Arceus, if I'm not mistaken, I believe is about 260. In Legends Arceus, 260 Pokemon. So, and it's just a remake of Red and Blue, Red and Green, Yellow. So it's not open world. You don't have a 3D camera to control. Your catch mechanics are literally throw in your Joy-Con or throw in the Pokeball Joy-Con that came with it. It's hit or miss.
I guess you do have a. Whoops! I hit the mic. I guess you do have a point there. That is a good point. But even then, it's like the Pokemon Company makes a crap ton of money. I mean, you're telling me like other companies, like there's so many games that are on the Switch that are made by like smaller teams, smaller companies. Somehow they're able to make their games not look like they came from like the PS3 era or like. Dude, and I'm not even trying to say like I want it to look realistic because there's this weird thing online where whenever someone brings up the graphics of Pokemon, some people automatically point towards, oh, so you want it to be realistic. We don't need realistic graphics. It's like, no, I just don't want the textures to look like they came not even from the PS3 era in some cases, because some PS3 games actually look really good graphics. There's a big difference between wanting realistic and wanting better, because like if you look at like Xenoblade, like the screenshot they used, that game looks drop dead gorgeous, and that came out on the Wii, and that is the definitive edition though too. You gotta also keep that in mind. They changed a whole bunch for that, but I mean, but even then, that kind of does actually prove that like if they were to give a similar treatment to, let's say, Pokemon Arceus and spruced up the graphics, did better character models, textures, and all that kind of stuff to like Pokemon Arceus, that game would look amazing. And I'm not saying like make it realistic. I'm talking about better textures, details in terms of like the amount of. I remember when this game came out, people were like using the tree. Do you remember that? As like
Sword and Shield. I remember that heavily.
I'm gonna say that, but not like trees, but like the amount of details. How do I even put this? You know what I'm talking, like not the amount of trees, but like the amount of like fauna
the amount of effort that they put into the details.
Yeah, if they were to do that for Pokemon Arceus, that game would look amazing. And the thing is, like, these things tend to engage me into the game more, immerse me into the world. But like when you come across like areas where like it looks a little janky, it kind of throws me off a bit, personally.
Yeah, I mean, at least talking about janky environments, Pokemon Sword and Shield, at least the wild area was definitely an eyesore.
Yeah, and it's like, can you not just at least do a little bit better? Like, there's wow, what was that? Dragon Quest Monsters, I think. Oh yeah, the Dark Prince.
Pokemon version of Dragon Quest, or
yeah. And that, I mean, that game's not like overly like detailed. Mm-hmm. But like you look at that game, like even like the opening area, like if we had that for Pokemon, I would be happy. Like, but like we don't, and it's like such a shame because like they've done this before. That's the weird thing about it, is like they've done games that look really good, and I don't understand why. Is it like they're being rushed? Is that it?
I don't think so. I don't think it's about being rushed. At least mainline Pokemon games, for sure. You know, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, those are the mainline games. Those are definitely rushed. Well, I don't know about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, since it's just an extension of Sun and Moon, which is much better. But graphically, well, you know, graphic-wise, performance-wise, it's definitely a step down. But I don't believe the Pokemon company is, or Game Freak or whoever, is fully in charge of ZA. Mm-hmm. But it's whoever made Legends Arceus, whatever developer that is.
That was wasn't that Game Freak? I thought that was Game Freak. Let's see.
Can you look into that?
Yeah, it just says Pokemon Legends Arceus is a 2022 action role-playing game developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo, the Pokemon Company for the Nintendo, or in the Pokemon Company for the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, it was developed by Game Freak.
Okay, so then whatever team in that company that was in charge of Legends Arceus, they changed the way I view playing Pokemon. Like, I loved Legends Arceus.
Yeah, I really wish they would bring that battle system to the mainline games, if I'm being honest.
But going back to the mainline, I don't think it'll ever change to the mainline. Yeah. The one thing that was weird that at least still is on my mind now is that they introduced a new mechanic to Legends Arceus, and it was Frostbite. So it's a status condition that lowers your special attack, similar to how Burn lowers your physical attack, and you take chip damage over time. Even after that was introduced in Arceus, it wasn't reintroduced in Scarlet and Violet, a game that came out a year or two later. So that was weird. But I thought it was a nice niche thing, you know, something new, something that's never been done before. You're able to dodge attacks in the overworld. You have a 3D camera on the main story. You just go on a giant hunt of catching Pokemon, and you don't even have to battle them. You can sneak in the grass like a hunter, a lion waiting for its prey. You know?
Yeah, that's
Like, that's just something that's amazing. You've never seen that in a game before, and when it was first introduced, it was wild. So much hype and so much like excitement for the game, and I think they delivered fine.
That's what I liked about it is like the gameplay loop. It was fast and fluid and easy to use too. Like it wasn't even like difficult at all. So that's why I'm glad they went with that with Legends of ZA. Now, I didn't play a lot of Arceus. I never finished it. I did spend a lot like just getting Pokemon and stuff.
If you want to borrow it.
No, I haven't. I still have it. I have to play again. There's so many games in my back catalog. Again, like whenever a new game comes out and I'm like playing like one that I've already bought, I end up getting the new one or renting it, and then I just kind of forget about it a lot of times. But I'm trying to like not do that anymore. That's why I actually finished Dragon Age Veilguard, and now I'm waiting for Xenoblade to come out. And I'm gonna play through that whole thing, finish that, and then Assassin's Creed as well. And then I don't really know after that, to be honest. Probably finish up Zelda. I mean, I tried playing Avowed. Funny thing about Avowed, dude, I played that for a little while, and it's really fun. And then I forgot about it, like completely forgot about it, to the point where like yesterday I was like, oh yeah, I can play Avowed. I don't know why. Like it's not like I was bored with it, but like it didn't. I don't know. It was weird. But anyways, yeah, like I'm glad they went with that combat system because it's something different. Like like I'm not saying the old combat system was bad, but like that's why I probably like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and Coliseum it's just a little bit different, especially XD Gale of Darkness, if I remember correctly. That's the one where you have to purify the Pokemon or whatever, right?
Yeah, you got the game titles correct.
Yeah.
Both games hold a special place in my heart. Like,
dude, I want a remake.
Everybody wants a remake.
Dude,
like the battle mechanics again, something
or
different introduced to the Pokemon games, and it was so different.
Or even like a remaster would quite honestly say, or even putting it on the Nintendo Switch online service and being able to take it on the go.
I agree.
I know people are like, oh, why don't you still get a Steam Deck and stuff? It's like, okay, but then I got to spend an extra $300. That's not something I want to do. If I'm going to spend $300, that's going to be towards the Switch too.